Well, we leave Thursday. Going to be in Louisville, and at noon Eastern, 10 Mountain, we'll run the national championship, and hopefully by 10:21 our time, we'll have some positive news. Go down and have fun and run the best we can.
What are your expectations?
To have fun. It's been the same expectation all year, to make sure that they go out, run with their friends, enjoy the experience, don't change anything from the previous meets, and just have a great time. Find the turquoise and run with the turquoise.
You know, you haven't, your message hasn't changed it one bit, so you've seen the benefits of the have fun mantra, huh?
Well, let's think about it in sports. How many times do you know when somebody misses the free throw at the last second, or wide left, something like that, because of tension and stress? So we're trying to keep it enjoyable and keep it fun and see what happens.
Can you talk a little bit about how you built this team, how this team has been developed?
Well, it's been, from years and years ago, it just seems to just evolve. And a couple of years ago, we got some really good recruits. Alice Wright, Callie Thackeray. Alice hadn't run in a couple of years, but, she shows up, and we'd already been okay for that point. We'd been top 10 a couple of times, and it just continues to evolve. And then you have people that are now committing, like Natasha Bernal, ran great this last weekend. And she was great last year in the state of New Mexico. And so now it's just starting to hopefully perpetuate itself.
Is everybody healthy?
Today.
Coach, were you holding back a little bit because you came in second, and it said in the paper that you were just holding back, but you didn't?
Well, they had specific instructions not to place better than 10th. And if you look at the results throughout the year, we haven't had anybody place 10th. So we wanted to really run within ourselves, have them run comfortably with each other. We did hold out Alice Wright and Helena Tambet from that race. Again, they're healthy, they're fine. We just held them out. So were we holding back? We were trying to run conservatively. And what we always talk about is when you learn from failing. And a few years ago, we went to Utah with a very good men's team, and we won the Mountain Regional. We beat Colorado, who I think was #1 in the country, and we were so excited. We were all jacked up. We beat them head-to-head, I think, every man the last 500 meters. The next week, we go to the national championship, and we're flat. And they ran their hardest. It just we had put everything out there the week before. So this year, we were going into it a little more conservatively, so that we had, hopefully have some left on Saturday.
Why did you hold out those two kids specifically?
Just to get a little more training. Helena has run very well in the past for us, and just to be able to train and take a mental break from racing, just to have a little bit of a relaxing time, and that was why we did it.
What's the Louisville course like?
Louisville course is in a state park, Tom Sawyer State Park. It's not a golf course like we're used to running on. It's through the woods. It's a relatively fast course, but it looks like it's going to be raining, which will slow it down a little bit. Just make it a little slower, which will be very positive for us. It's a good course. We ran well last time we were there. We got 10th with a team that probably should have been about 17th, but the women ran unbelievable that day, and I think we went from 17th to 10th in the last 2,000 meters on that day. So it was really good time. So we had, the nice thing is we've been there before. We know where we're staying. We know what restaurants we're eating at. So it's all very common for us, which is nice. Coaches are creatures of habit. We like to do the exact same thing all the time. So that's what we're doing.
You say it's a good thing if it's raining.
Well, it just slows it down just a little bit. It's more, I call it the neutralizer. If you have great 1,500 meter runners, which some schools do, they're going to prefer a hard, fast course. If you have great 10,000 meter runners, strength type course, you're going to want hills or things like that. So the wetness, it's a flat course, but it'll be a little wet. It'll just slow it down just a smidge.
Going back to last week, you feel like you guys are running at your best right now?
Yeah, we're having a good time right now, today.
Coach, you think the sports gods are with us now? Since we've only won one national championship in skiing, this could be the chance to.
Well, there's 31 teams that have the opportunity, and we're one of those 31. And, a lot of people probably wouldn't have thought that fight was going to go the way it was, but, she came out and was unbelievable. In the football game against Boise State, they came out and it was unbelievable. So all you need is a chance. And if you get the opportunity, then it's up for the stars to align a little bit in all sports to have that chance, and we're one of the 31 teams that has a chance.
Would you say Colorado is the team?
I think there's probably 6 or 7 teams out there that are good. And again, on a given day, any one of those could do it. So Colorado is very, very good. But then you have others that are also very good, that have great tradition. Providence has great tradition. Oregon has great tradition. Arkansas, Virginia, Michigan was 3rd 2 years ago and returned 6 of the 7 people from 2 years ago. So there's teams out there. And then there's going to be some team that nobody's talking about that's going to have a great race. And that was us last year. So that nobody knows about, and somebody's going to come up and run unbelievably.
Coach, I was at the meet and I was at the finish line, and it seemed like our girls, like they did exactly what you said. Just don't worry, because I saw this girl from Colorado, and she was probably 20, 30 yards behind you guys as you were getting to the finish line. And all of a sudden, she sprinted past you, and that's how you guys lost, by passing you up at the last second at the very end of the race.
We told them specifically, do not get on your toes, don't sprint. Save that for Saturday. So do not sprint, do not push, just enjoy the day. They just ran together.
The team has had a great deal of depth this season. Often some of the runners have not been a part of the scoring for the team, but they've finished ahead of some of the other schools' top finishers. Can you talk a little bit about the depth and a little bit more about the pack running, how that might be advantageous?
We do have a lot of depth. We have, Natasha was, I think, right with Colorado's 7th, right in front of their 7th runner this last weekend. And she'll be an alternate, and she was right in front of Colorado's 7th runner. So the nice thing is we're interchangeable, and it's just a very positive thing to have depth. Just like Coach Davey wants depth on the football team, and everybody else in our sports want depth, and it just allows us more room to make decisions. And they're all very supportive of each other, which is another very positive thing, because they support each other. They know it's one team, even though that 7 runners will be running on Saturday. They're all one team. They all play a role.